All right. Thanks for waiting for us, folks. Welcome back to the PagerDuty Twitch channel. I'm Andy Walls, DevOps advocate at PagerDuty. I'm here today with Thiago and Jake. We're a little delayed. Forrest might join us. If he doesn't, it's okay. Oh, as soon as we start, there he is. There's the man. All right, dude. We're already rolling. You don't even have to have on.
I realized I was late, and then I was like unsure whether I should join. I was scouring Twitch to see if you started already. I didn't want to like join in the middle and be like, "Hi, I'm on Rendy time today."
That's all right. You're here now. We're good to go.
I don't even have a hat.
Don't even have a hat.
Give me a second.
Totally unprepared today. What is going on? My goodness. But yeah, welcome back. We're going to talk about the 4.16.0 release. It has this fascinating name this time. It's called Bigfoot Pale Violet Red Book is the randomly generated product name, which I was like, what is that word? What is going on there? That's fine.
How does that? I'm actually not sure. How does that compare to? Banshee Fuchsia Sunglasses was the last one. So,
yeah.
You know, it's on theme to some degree.
All right.
Oh, there we
release,
go.
We're going gold pleated hat today.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm ecstatic that you actually own that hat. That is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was a whole kickball weekend back in the day of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, with all that, then, I mean, we're ready to go for it, man. What do we got this week for folks?
So this week is 4.16. It is a pretty big release for us for a number of reasons. We really hyped up or amped up our distributed automation product area with this release. And we've been talking about that over the last couple of releases, but this one really brings to fruition a lot of components that we've been working on with it. So excited to dig into that as well as other highlights of the release. And I can demo a couple pieces of it as well. But before digging in, Forrest, any pieces you wanted to touch on or add before we dig into the weeds?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the big highlights, right? The big highlights being, the secrets management through the runner, node inventory through the runner, as well as a few other fixes, I guess I can call out from the release notes here. There looks like at least 3 or 4 different CVEs that we've addressed. So another, key update to keep things updated and secure. What else am I'm scanning down through here? No, I mean, everything is really revolving around those major feature announcements. So,
awesome.
Should I share my screen with the release notes, Jake? You want to talk through them that way, or do you want to just kind of show them?
Either way, I can. I have them up here, so I can go ahead and start sharing.
Great.
Right,
so what I'll do is I'll try to zoom in on this one here, and do a little bit of explaining of what this highlight is. It's pretty powerful when you think about being able to accommodate larger customers as well as secure customers that want to use our Runbook Automation Cloud product. And so what this enhancement does is it allows our enterprise runner, which is that piece of software that our customers install in their zone, in their network environment behind their firewall. It allows the runner to source its keys and passwords and API tokens for the automation from secrets management products that are self-hosted by our customers. So the most common one would be HashiCorp Vault, but we have other customers using CyberArk secrets management and Thycotic secrets management. And what this allows customers to do is put the runner in the same environment that secrets management product is hosted, and then point to that runner as part of their job definition, and say that then be able to navigate paths from that secrets management product and select the key that they want to be used from that secrets management in the workflow. And this is a way that they can securely orchestrate automation across their network boundaries without having the secrets leave their perimeter or leave their boundary. So they can use our cloud products, but they can also, again, orchestrate across multiple disparate, isolated environments. We have a customer that has a HashiCorp Vault instance in hundreds of isolated network zones. And so they have that many runners. And this is what allows them to securely orchestrate automation across all of these disparate environments.
Wow.
And so I want
to highlight part of what you said there is that the secrets storage, right? HashiCorp Vault is supported. With this release, we have the others, the CyberArk Thycotics coming soon. Our HashiCorp Vault exists in a specific data center, and if you're running on runbook automation or process automation on-prem, if that server instance is in a different data center, obviously with RBA, it's in our data center, the keys stay there, right? We're not copying the keys back to that server, right? The actual secret data is not leaving there. What you're getting back from the runner is a listing of what the keys, what keys you can call upon. And then you can use that key in job steps or pieces that are relevant to that runner. So it's not like I can pick up my key from over here and then start, sharing it out to other runners or have it, if I were an MSP, have it accidentally, bleed or share secrets into, some other, another customer, etc.
Right. What you see in the graphical user interface of the product are the key path references, and that's what it is, right? Is a reference to where the runner should retrieve that key from Vault during its job execution. So what is sent back to the server and or to the runbook automation instance are just the key paths and not the keys themselves. And the keys that are retrieved from Vault by a given runner actually can only be used by that runner, not by another runner. So it's actually pretty locked down in that regard. It's where the runners where the secrets are retrieved from are where they are used.
Okay, so on the runners then, are the keys persistent or are they retrieved every time there's an execution on that runner?
They are retrieved every time they are executed. So they are not copied to the runner at any point in time. They're not, again, sent anywhere else.
Cool.
And so what you're looking at here is like in the middle of building a job. And as I can actually go to demo this here, if I edit one of my jobs now, and I add a step that requires or potentially requires a secret, not a command step, something like an HTTP request step, right? So if we're going to make an API call somewhere and it has, basic auth, something of that nature, and I click select, I can now see the ability to choose runners from my runner selection. And I don't have a Vault instance hooked up to this runner, so it won't show any keys here. But this gives you an idea of the workflow that a user will go through to select their keys for this particular job step. And then when this job is executed, as mentioned, the runner will be used to retrieve that secret, use it for the job execution, and it doesn't persist beyond that.
Awesome.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one question. You mentioned that you had a customer you were talking to who had like a number of runners in different locations. Is there an effective limit right now of how many runners you can have connected?
No, and not a hard limit. We are, as we enter the back half of this year, we're going to be making some improvements for real scale. And what I mean by that is in the 4 figures of runners tied to a single runbook automation instance or process automation cluster. And that's because we have customers in retail and brick and mortar chains that want a runner at each location. Because again, each location is its own isolated zone, secure zone, and so it makes sense to have a runner at each location.
That being said, whenever someone asks that question, I always like to qualify that or reinforce that the runner is not built as an agent, right?
Yeah.
It's not intended to run on each individual server and act like an agent. It's a single super agent for a data center.
Right, and the enhancements that we released in 4.16 really do demonstrate that, in that they are meant to be a way to dispatch automation to a given environment, rather than sit on each node in that environment.
Now you can run 2 or 3, if you want some, fault tolerance ish there.
Right.
That's a whole nother discussion. So, 1 or 2 per environment is a good idea, but not 1 per server you want to manage.
Right.
Yeah.
Node. I should use the.
Exactly. Cool. So this is a big one for us, as Forrest mentioned. We just started with putting the Vault integration on the runners. In subsequent releases, we will also support CyberArk and Thycotic. But this is really major for, I mentioned this customer that has, 100 or more Vault instances. Not every customer is like that, but for the managed service providers out there, for the, centralized IT operations, maybe call them a center of excellence, that want different business units or departments to be able to author their own automation and use their own secrets management providers. This is what really makes that possible, yet still having, again, a centralized control plane of automation. And so this is pretty big for us, and it's a major differentiator from a lot of automation products out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I can imagine it's going to make folks auditability and like the life cycle of their keys and all that kind of stuff so much easier, since all that stuff lives where it belongs natively, and you don't have to copy it into your process automation server and have it carted around there. It all lives where it's been sort of crafted for it to live there and have that life cycle. So
yeah,
awesome.
100%. The other major enhancement that we released this with 4.16 is the node inventory discovery through the runner as well. And back to what Forrest was just talking about in terms of not thinking of the runner as an agent, but rather thinking of the runner as an orchestration engine for a given environment, or a dispatch engine for a given environment. This certainly speaks to that as well, in that now when you have a runner in an environment where the inventory of that environment for the VMs or containers or what have you can only be discovered within that environment, then this type of integration is necessary. So a good example of that is if you're running our runbook automation product and you want to automate tasks across virtual machines that are vSphere virtual machines, or you have Docker containers in a cordoned off network. And so runbook automation as a SaaS product can't see that inventory. There's no public API endpoint for us to scrape to get that inventory. Or maybe you have an Ansible inventory file or so on and so forth. And again, back to even, if you're using process automation on-prem, but you have different departments with different inventories, also self-hosted, that, you don't want to, open up a network path from process automation to be able to query that. This node discovery through the runner is extremely powerful. So with this release, we included a handful of our node inventory plugins on the runner. And those, I believe, are listed here. And I listed off some of them already. here we go, right? So Ansible inventory, VMware, Kubernetes, Docker. If you might have a file, an inventory file, we have our own resource model format that you can just put into a flat file, or just a script to scrape. We have a customer that wrote a script to scrape their Active Directory inventory to pull AD objects into their node inventory. And so this would be, this would make sense for them if they don't have a direct network path from process automation or runbook automation to make those queries. And so I can demo this
Awesome.
also real quick. And I have some Docker containers set up on my MacBook. And so I have my Docker node source here, and we now have a runner selector as part of our node source object. And you can see I chose my runner, which is I named it Docker and gave it a couple of tags. You can see that it's healthy. I didn't have to set anything else because the Docker host is just the local host. So it's all pretty straightforward. I won't make any changes here. But then when I go to my nodes, we can see all these funky container IDs. That's how we load our Docker containers into the node inventory. But when I click on these, I can see the actual container name, container image. This is running the welcome project that Forrest has been tending to for the past couple of years. And it's a really great way to get up and running with the Rundeck open source and process automation products pretty quickly. And so what this is doing is I'm using a runbook automation cloud instance here, and I have my runner installed on my local host, and it is sourcing these nodes. So I don't have, there's no way for my runbook automation SaaS product to actually query the Docker inventory on my laptop or an actual production Docker host. And so this is, again, it's pretty powerful when you think about the managed service practice use cases, enterprise use cases, and really anytime you have, on-premise inventory or non-cloud inventory, and you want to use our runbook automation product.
Another thing I noticed there, the tags, right? When you're pulling it in with the tag, you will get a tag that's prefixed runner, right? And then the tag from the runner that node was generated from. So you can get a good sense of, okay, this runner brought in, this particular node. If you're going to do jobs that also need to execute either the key storage, right? The key storage aligns to that, or specific commands, you need to issue some of those commands against that runner.
Right. But to be clear, though, what's conscious design decision that we made is that the runner that sources these nodes does not need to be the runner that executes automation on these nodes.
Okay.
And whereas with the key storage, we've gone a slightly different route, again, because of the clear distinction between what we're doing here between node discovery and secrets management usage. And so a runner can be chosen as your inventory discovery runner, but then you might have a few other runners that help carry out the automation execution for that environment. And so there isn't necessarily a tight coupling there. These tags just, again, can help with identifying which nodes are sourced from which runner and which environment.
Cool. That seems awesome. Absolutely. So, sweet.
And we also, and similar to the key storage enhancement, we have customers that have already begun using some of this today, and many more who are eager to get hands-on with it.
I bet. Yeah, like trying to get all your stuff into the automation platform so you can begin to get all the awesome benefits of it is a big first step for a lot of people. I mean, this will really help a lot of folks get their stuff put together. So excellent.
And last but not least, or maybe depending on your use cases with runbook automation, last but not least is we changed our default node executor for new projects or new instances that are spun up to be the SSHJ default node executor. The reasons for that are that it adheres to the most up-to-date security practices, and as you can see here, using the most secure RSA algorithms, whereas before we had been using the JSCH plugin, which we are not deprecating. We will continue to support. It will continue to live in the product, but the community support for that, the jar behind that plugin, has not kept up with the SSHJ one. And so this, we know, has been a big ask by our community to make this the standard default node executor for the product. And so we're happy to accommodate those requests.
Excellent. So folks who want to switch can go through that process, but folks who aren't concerned can sort of leave their stuff where it is for now.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah. It just when you go to create a new project in process automation or runbook automation, you'll see that we are opinionated about which one to use, but you are not mandated to.
Cool.
And you can continue using JSCH. So I'll stop sharing at this time. We can chat a little bit about what's coming next, or Forrest, if there was any pieces that you wanted to touch on first.
No. I mean, those are great. I was thinking as you were going through that, I should have worn a running hat instead of the gold hat, but it was such a big release. I got the shiny one going. Looking ahead, anything we want to tease for future versions?
Yeah, what's coming?
Well, I will tease that there is something in 4.16 that we didn't talk about today, but that's because there's a more formal announcement about it coming on the 31st.
Ooh.
And you will see a press release, in fact, that helps shed light on what that is. So look out for that.
Well, is there something someone could sign up for? There's a news release. Is that something we'd send out to maybe our release notes list, or?
Yeah, so there will be a communication to our existing runbook and process automation customers. For the community, there will be a separate, I don't know if it's a news release, but some sort of communication as well about that.
Cool.
It'll be part of a larger PagerDuty press release later this month, or at the very end of this month. Looking ahead, though, to future releases, the enhancements we made with 4.16, I think, shed light on the general direction that we're looking at also for the back half of this year, both with expanding our secrets management integration capabilities in general, but then also continuing to invest in the distributed automation product area, where we can accommodate these disparate environments and let teams operate autonomously using a runner, but tying back to a centralized hub such as runbook automation.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like that gives folks a lot of control over where things are going to run through the centralized model, but also a lot of flexibility as to where they can actually run all their work. So I think that sounds super great.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right. Well, and that's all we've got for folks this time. That sounds good to me. That's a lot for folks to work on. So if you sign off of the stream right now, go in and get that new release so you can update your runners and get all the important secrets management and node discovery. That'll help everybody get their stuff going. That sounds awesome. So yeah. All right. Anything else we have to share with folks before we head out? I guess everybody needs to keep their eyes open for Thursday, the 31st, for everything else that's coming from PagerDuty, and we'll be back with 4.17 when it's ready.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, everybody. Have an uneventful week, and we'll be back later with more content. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you never miss a stream. Follow us at PD Community and PagerDuty on twitch.tv. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to be on our stream, email us at community-team@pagerduty.com so we can feature the cool things you're doing. And don't forget, check out all of our global events on our calendar at pagerduty.com/events.